Hey guys, StarCraft here with another great review. This one really surprised me, and yet it shouldn't have. What we're going to be talking about is something that I've been a bit of a fan on for a while under a different creative team, and that's Uncle Sam and the Freedom Fighters. Uncle Sam and the Freedom Fighters started off way back when DC introduced the concept of Earth X, which originally was supposed to be Earth Swastika, but editors at the time, many of which were Jewish, put the kibosh on that one. So, no, Earth X it was. And on there you have Uncle Sam, the Freedom Fighters, which were usually made up of the characters from the Equality line of books. And you have Uncle Sam, the Phantom Lady, the Human Bomb, Doll Man, the Ray, the Black and Condor, or Condor in other cases. There will be, and so many other varying members of the roster, but those are usually the more common members that are among it. And that is what we're looking at today, is the start of the 12-issue maxi series, Earth Freedom Fighters. Which, and written by Robert Venditti, was artwork by Eddie Barrows. I hope Eddie can stay on all 12 issues of his book. He has a known habit for sometimes dropping off, and people with a similar art style would come in. I really hope he sticks around. And Robert Venditti, I don't think we have anything to worry about. Given today's political climate, people would think, oh, it's Nazis. They're going to be doing all the stuff as allegories. No. And I'll get to that as we go in. It surprised me, but look, the way it goes with Earth X, before I get into it, it's a case where the Nazis won. So of course you're going to have a bunch of all this type of let's beat up the Nazis and everything. But it works in this case because that was the general concept, and we're seeing it through in a more modern context. Up until this point, when we've dealt with the Freedom Fighters, it has been them mostly on the regular DC universe in modern day. We're back to now seeing them in their element, playing a bit off of what Grant Morrison had done with the concept during his time with Multiversity, where we had a Superman that was raised by the Nazis. It doesn't look like he's going to be in this one because there's no reference of it, but it's still going to be an interesting book. And it's probably the longest I've taken to get into it before jumping in, so let's dive right in. We open up with we open up with this one guy ripping off something on top of a poster that was put onto a wall that was covering up an image of the Fuhrer himself, Hitler. We then go inside to a abandoned Texas school book depository where it looks like the resistance or the freedom fighters are all gathered up waiting for someone as there are a knock at the door. It's opened up and we are introduced to Doll Man, the Human Bomb, and Black Condor, and Jesse Owens? Yeah, this is Jesse Owens, the athlete who won the Olympic gold during the Berlin Olympics. In an interview with Hollywood Reporter, Robert Venditti actually explained that he looked at this as Owens would be the logical person for Hitler to go after once he started taking over the states. Because as far as he's concerned, he humiliated Hitler. That he was able to disprove what Hitler was talking about how blacks were inferior and that the whites were supreme. So, yeah, when you look at it in that context, it makes sense that's what he does. And to have him be the leader of the Freedom Fighters. Everyone's introduced and they're all brought down, and well, for the sake of everything in this book, it looks like instead of calling them Nazis, they're calling them Ratsies. And they will call them that throughout the whole book, and I don't mind that actually, calling them Ratsies, because, well, it kind of feels like something they would say as a derogatory. We then start seeing them planning out their big attack, as they're going to be going in and trying to bring down some to do something to help aid their cause. And you see this one guy just standing there with a blank eye expression. Yeah, we have no idea who this is, and it never really comes up again. But we do see the American flag that everyone's standing by start to move. And soon the table comes alive as we revealed Plastic Man. Well, Actually, more like plastic men. Yep, apparently the Nazis, Nazis, I'll stick to that now, have their own group of plastic men who are their super soldiers. And they start taking everyone down and capturing everyone. And everyone's trying to do what they can to get away, but there's more of them as they soon enslave everyone. And to the point where everyone soon stopped when the human bomb, they are ready to make him touch his hands, causing him to detonate himself. And then, a few days later, they're executed. Yeah, the freedom fighters are dead. We see them. Condor has been shot. Dollman's had his head caved in, and the human bomb is set on fire. All the while, Uncle Sam is seeing all this on the TV news, mortified by what is happening and the brutality of it all. As he gets all somber, he's attacked by a few more plastic men. But right at the last moment, he then disappears. Basically saying, old soldiers never die, you son of a bitch. They just fade away. He fades away until America needs him again. 55 years later, basically present day, we are then introducing a bunch of kids trying to play baseball as a Nazi general catches the ball and basically saying, you all know this is illegal. Return home. And telling the other subordinates, let me know if I hear of another incident. There will be hell to pay. They're inside, basically talking about how they've been working on various research projects. And they also bring up they have a photo they are very proud of from that execution. Turns out they were actually, and one of them was the executioner of the human bomb. He came up with the idea of using a flamethrower, obviously, instead of because a bullet would have just exploded on contact. The flamethrower, though, would have actually done some serious damage. And then we find out how the Adolf's son is now the current Fuhrer. And as they salute the former Fuhrer, the building blows up, killing the three generals. As everyone's scrambling and is in panic and wondering what's going on, a fireman runs out, but is revealed to be the human bomb, giving his own hail salute with a middle finger. As he then he tells the children, you do not need to be believing all that garbage they told him. Uncle Sam wasn't dead, he just went to sleep. The freedom fighters are there as we see Black Condor, Doll Woman, Phantom Lady, and the new one, and the human bomb is standing there before them. And as everyone is talking, including an old elderly couple who they look a lot younger than they should be if they were children back during World War II. But they were there as they had saw it. They knew they were dead. And Black Condor admits, yep, that's happened. But as Doll said, they're ready to kick some ratsy ass. But they're interrupted as these giant robotic and robots and mechs show up. Stacy saying, extermination in progress. Hail Hitler. And that's where our issue ends. This was great. This feels just like taking the old Earth X concept, but putting it through a more modern filter of what things would happen, as opposed to going for a cartoonish, everyone's just wearing armbands with swastikas. No, they're just showing how very dark things could be. And what was I talking about with Robert Venditti? Why I felt like I have nothing to worry about? Well, in the same Hollywood Reporter interview, at one point, during the interview, Venditti replied, you started out by saying, once upon a time, saying Nazis were evil is apolitical. Yeah, I still think that's apolitical. And basically when asked, I agree, but look at the news. Some people might not agree with you now. To which he stated, I hope not. Here's the overarching theme of the series. It's really a story about heroism. No matter how dark times are, no matter how bleak things may be, there will always be good people. Humanity always has capacity to be good, to be heroes, and to keep us on the right path. I believe that. Maybe that makes me a silly optimist or something, but I have to believe at our core that we're good. Freedom fighters showed us the world we could have had, if not for the tremendous sacrifices of others. And I'm not saying that in terms of soldiers like my uncle. I'm talking about the global population. Soldiers, villagers, everybody. If not for those sacrifices, freedom fighters is the world that we could have had. That tells you he gets it. He's going into this purely as a person who wants to tell this story, not use it as propaganda to try and get things shoved down people's throats or saying all conservatives are Nazis and Democrats are the good guys. None of that. And that floors me big time. So that's what I have for my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Get it if you really feel I did a good job, and check it out. Here's looking to the next issue. I am definitely seeing it through to the end. Catch you later.